Story 1. I think it's frankly terrible. I think Musk is as much of an idiot as the next guy thinks, but I don't need somebody to make the decision for me. If I don't want to support Musk, I don't click the links, and I don't anyway. Twitter has always been, and will always be a complete disaster. Story 2. Dumb. The point of Reddit is to be a content aggregator website that brings together links and content from across the internet. That's why Reddit is, or at least once was, called the front page of the internet. Unilaterally banning another large social media site would just mean less content would be posted on Reddit and would likely make this site more boring and contribute to its demise. I don't want to live in a world where I have to use a different platform because Reddit shut down. Story 3. Reddit is enough of a breeding ground for echo chambers. If Reddit wants to be devoid of free speech and thought, then sure, bring on the hive mind. Platforms high in censorship are not where I want to be, and Reddit is already high enough. Story 4. This whole free speech thing can be difficult to understand for some people. Basically, it means we should not stop anyone from saying anything. I do not think the platform they choose matters. Obviously, some things are toxic and should be disgraceful to say, but once they voice their opinions, then you know who you are dealing with, also good. Free speech is the foundation of freedom. Story 5. Holy for so many people that despise fascism, there are a ton of fascist comments. When you immediately reference someone as being a Nazi just because you do not agree with their views, you have already lost the debate. Go ahead and downvote me. Anything I do not agree with must be silenced. Story 6. If you have good ideas, you don't need to ban the expression of opposing ideas. The advocating of such bans is just an admission that you don't have good ideas. Story 7. Right. Let's ban a source of information, for lack of better words, so that Reddit can truly become the echo chamber that some claim it is or isn't. Story 8. I don't go to links pointing to Twitter because I don't have an account there. I don't go to any link that's behind a paywall. Part of what makes Reddit great is that it's a community full of different forums where people can engage in conversation and debate about almost anything. People from all over the world, who don't care about our politics, use this site and Twitter. Let people decide for themselves if they want to ban Twitter from their lives. Banning Twitter links is tantamount to the site taking a political stance. It hampers discourse, and that's not what this space should be about. If we ban links to Twitter, we should ban links to anything that points to a paywalled site. Story 9. I don't think it is Reddit's job to set a policy like that, unless it is for security reasons. I fully support communities being given the freedom to ban them. Your communities are just that, communities, most of which are dedicated to hobbies. Let moderators moderate. If it is too much or too little, the community will self-regulate or create something new. Story 10. Federal versus states. I would prefer the subreddits do what the subreddits do. You don't like Donald Trump or Elon Musk. Why would you want Reddit administrators making decisions that subreddits should make for themselves? Story 11. I think the biggest issue with cross-links, aside from the fact that Elon is insane and not half as intelligent as he thinks he is that they do not work for most people. How many people have cross accounts? The link does not work unless you have an account. I would not be sorry to see them go away. Story 12. No, it's already enough of an echo chamber here. I used to like coming here because you could get diverse opinions on subjects and things going on in the world, but now it seems if your opinion isn't a certain way on everything, then you just get shut down and downvoted to hell. The politics subreddit has been a complete mess for the last month. They might as well change the name because it's quite obvious only one type of political view is accepted there. Story 13. I think it's borderline censorship and I don't agree with it. I've been off Twitter for a while, long before all this most recent stuff. While I do not like that platform at all, I feel like this is a horrible step in the wrong direction for allowing open and free speech. I don't understand the upside to a ban like this. Could you educate me on the pros? Story 14. Reddit is a liberal stronghold both in its users and its leadership, so that is about the only power they have to make any sort of statement. So I think it is pretty typical and I am not surprised. Story 15. I disagree with it because a lot of news still gets shared on X. Because I follow lots of sports and video game subreddits, I think it's ridiculous we have to go through extra steps to share news to the subreddits now. I appreciate that screenshots of tweets are a workaround, but banning X links outright I don't agree with. Story 16. I think you are trying to push your political preferences on everyone else, and that if a similar ban were described in reverse you would be crying about censorship. Story 17. Reddit cannot even be bothered to ban outright hatred and bigotry most of the time because they want those people using the site and seeing advertisements. They are definitely not going to ban links to another site just because a fascist piece of owner owns it. I would not shed a tear if they did, though. Story 18. I think it's dumb. Sure, Elon is a disliked piece of soggy cotton, but Twitter is still one of the biggest social media platforms around right now. Tons of brands still use it, and it's the best place for content creators to market, connect, and engage with their audiences. It won't do anything to sink the site. Story 19. Seems par for the course. Hive mind won't recognize the Democratic Party didn't have an elected nominee but says Trump's attacking democracy. 1 month in blaming Trump for all the Biden and Harris problems. I mean, forget it, I've never been on that platform or Twitter, but I'm just saying, yeah, it seems par for the course here. Story 20. I was way more annoyed with it because there is a lot of legitimate discourse and breaking news made on there until Elon Musk announced he was going to adjust the community notes function. The one thing I think was reigning in a lot of the insanity. Even Elon Musk was not immune to community notes. That was the nail in the coffin for me. I'm trying to make the shift to Blue Sky, but it's also terrible in its own way. Story 21. I'm down. There is an obvious thumb on the scale there. It will not solve the problem, though. You will still see screenshots of every controversial thing Elon tweets, and that's how his propaganda spreads. Story 22. I'd appreciate that, but I take it further. No cross-posting social media on Reddit. This isn't about politics or any problems with Twitter specifically. It's a generalized problem with cross-posting a single social media post, then linking to it from other social media platforms. The user experience of opening a link on Reddit only to find myself on another social media site looking at a post that is exactly identical to the Reddit title is disappointing. Not only that, but because most of my use of Reddit happens on mobile devices these days, it means that I can't do the auto-expand thing that Reddit Enhancement Suite does anymore. No, the outside social media site has to load its entire mobile web user interface inside a browser window inside the Reddit app. And it's been a while since I've actually gotten a Reddit link to open another app, and I'm not sure that would improve the experience. And if they link to a social networking site that I don't have an account on, like Twitter, deleted my account when it stopped being enjoyable before the COVID lockdowns, or Instagram, never understood what it was for in the first place. I'm likely to get pestered that I need to either make an account or log in before I can see the post. And again, the end result is that I get a Reddit title's worth of information and maybe a low-value picture. Story 23. No, it eliminates a digital footprint. That makes it harder to find where information came from or verify its authenticity. This fosters the spread of misinformation. Story 24. I would rather have a site-wide ban on OnlyFans links and links to sites like Linktree that allow OnlyFans workers to avoid detection and continue using social media as free advertising. Story 25. They should leave it open in fairness, but redirect the user interface and other toxic areas through a warning page or modal, and add a twist on something along the lines of this. Hold on to your butts. Story 26. I support it. Reddit owners won't endorse turning on Elon, though. And if all subreddit moderators said we will individually ban it, they'll just step in like they did during the strike and remove moderators. Story 27. That's a bad idea. That would give Musk an excuse to force even more of his personal ideas onto Reddit. The whole point of Reddit is for communities to make their own rules. That's what still mostly protects our communities from Musk and Trump's ideas of moderation. Story 28. Banning external links site-wide on Reddit could reduce exposure to harmful content, however you define it, but it might also limit access to valuable information shared on that platform. It's a tricky balance between moderating harmful material, defining it, and preserving the free flow of information. Story 29. Don't care about 90%. Sports subscriptions have gotten inherently worse. The National Football League is an exclusive partner of X. I've also never had an account and never had a single link not work or be inaccessible, despite the misinformation going around with the paywall excuse. Story 30. Reddit is a $32 billion publicly traded company. The executive suite occupants who actually run Reddit will never allow such a thing because their stockholders expect them to increase the share price by increasing revenue and profits. But the stock is down more than 10% in the last month because 10 days ago, we found out its earnings per share is a paltry 36 cents a share, and its annual net loss has now quintupled since last year. And Twitter links equal engagement via irritation, and engagement via irritation equals mega clicks, and mega clicks equal money. Therefore, Twitter links will never be banned, at least not at any significant scale. Story 31. X is frustrating to use as someone without an account, so I don't care, but it's also useful for quick news. I'd like to still have screenshots allowed, but I understand those are easily falsified, as if the tweets themselves aren't. Laugh out loud. Story 32. I'm of mixed feelings. I deleted my account after the election, and out of curiosity, recently made one just to see what the experience was like. The default feed for new people is basically a mix of Elon Musk, Make America Great Again, influencers, artificial intelligence content, and viral content reposters. It's an absolute mess, and it just confirmed for me that deleting my account in the first place was the right move. But people on Reddit are a little bit too quick to say, if you sit at a table with a Nazi, then you're a Nazi, in situations where I don't think it applies. There are a lot of people who are definitely not Nazis on Twitter. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is not a Nazi. Jamie Raskin is not a Nazi. Bernie Sanders is not a Nazi. Jasmine Crockett is not a Nazi. There are lots of left-wing, anti-racist, socialist, and union organizers active on Twitter. I'm certain that they don't like the fact that Elon Musk owns Twitter and has turned it into even more of a trash heap than it was before his leadership. But in spite of his best efforts, it's still a site where a lot of people who aren't part of the hardcore Make America Great Again base interact. And I'm not sure that ceding that space entirely to Musk and his fans is the right move. Story 33. I think it's censorship. But more people need to be thinking about how there are usually the same moderators that moderate multiple subreddits. I wish you could vote them out. Story 34. This website experience is not organic. It is a curated experience. The front page is a political machine. Opinions are shaped. Non-conforming opinions are deleted, and the accounts are banned permanently. There are many bots running behind the scenes making this happen. Countless voices have been permanently muted. Here's one such example of a bot caught doing its thing behind the scenes. Story 35. So incredibly stupid. I don't like one person, so I'm going to silence everyone else who uses the platform. If your ego cannot withstand that, you are weak and deserve the pain life has in store for you. Story 36. I think that a lot of artwork is still hosted on Twitter, and many subreddits have rules about crediting the original creator, which would be negatively impacted by such a rule. Story 37. I know a few people who were none too pleased about the ban I set up last month. I didn't realize this would have been so controversial, but I have the feeling most of these are just bad faith individuals. Story 38. Would be nice, but a certain man-baby would likely throw his money around and find a way to force its reversal, or just outright buy Reddit and ruin it. Story 39. I deleted my Twitter account after the election and have no intention of going back. That being said, I don't think a site-wide ban would work. The status quo, with each community banning them individually, is fine. Story 40. It's literally already lost 80% of its value since Musk got it. He doesn't care about it being profitable. It doesn't matter to him at all. You can avoid it for your personal reasons to feel better about yourself, but it makes no statement to Musk. Story 41. Patently illegal. Doing so would mean Reddit is censoring speech themselves, instead of the individual moderators of subreddits. It is much easier to target a big company than 20 moderators who happen to buy access to subreddits. Story 42. I don't agree with this, and I'm no fan of masks. I think it should be decided by each individual subreddit on their own if they want to do that. Twitter still has a lot of the world's daily news and information. Many celebrities and world figures still use Twitter as a quick way of posting information in the news. I understand the sentiment of wanting to ban it across all of Reddit, but I don't think censorship is the right idea. Use a cancel link instead or an image. Story 43. I think censoring is bad, and if we banned every website with an owner people believed was corrupt, we wouldn't have anything. I also find it laughable that you all are so upset that you want to cripple the social network. If it was the other way around, you would be threatening Republicans. Story 44. Screenshots still exist, and subreddit moderators choose whether or not they accept other subreddits. People will do the same thing they did for COVID-19 misinformation. Consume information rapidly and use images and completely unnecessary clever references to discuss the topic anyway, using screenshots to share content on Reddit. Story 45. I like browsing fan art and images. When I want to support the artist, I check their social media, and 99% of the time, they are active on a platform I already have an account on. It's a stupid idea to ban it site-wide, to be honest.